Hey everyone, and welcome to Ask on episode 234. I recently hit 500,000 subscribers, which is amazing. It's beyond what I ever thought I'd be able to reach on YouTube making content about Lego Star Wars. It's actually absurd. But as part of my thank you to you guys, I am going to be giving away 10 of the new ATTEs in the coming weeks. I just don't know exactly how I want to do it yet, so that'll be something announced a little bit down the line. Something I can announce now, though, is today's video is sponsored by NordVPN. Like a Linus Tech Tips transition of sponsor. We'll talk more about them later, but of course we have a lot of awesome questions from you guys today. We have Transformers fan 89 who says, if Lego continues to make diorama sets, which I think they will, do you think we'll ever get the Geonosis Droid Foundry? So I've seen a couple good mock builds of a playset version of this that I think would work very well. I'd be curious to see how it would translate to diorama world of Lego Star Wars. Of course, being overpriced as most dioramas feel like they are, it would definitely catch some flack for that, but I just think it's low on the totem pole of like potential prequel dioramas. I think and obviously if they do these two, then the next two could include episode 2 sets, but I think the first 2 diorama sets, if they do prequel dioramas in the coming years, which I again think they will, they're finally coming around on the helmet sets, we will see a Duel on Mustafar diorama set, because I think if there's one scene that could really fit into a diorama, the best of anything from the prequels, it would be that Duel on Mustafar. And then I also think we would see maybe a Palpatine's Arrest diorama set. I think that could be something else that would work fantastically. And a lot of people want a Jedi Council set. I think that's something that Lego would certainly be aware of, whether that fits in a diorama or something else. I think that's also on the table. So I don't know. Obviously dioramas can be so many different things, but I look at the Geonosis Droid Foundry as something that we'll probably just never get from Lego Star Wars in any fashion, unfortunately. It just, I don't know. I like the scene. I think it's cool. I think it was a fun level in Lego Star Wars Skywalker. So no, it's the level that I just kept lagging out on. Oh my goodness. That level was a pain to get through. Oh, now that I think about it, that's bad memories. But yeah, I don't know, man. It'd be cool, but I just don't see them doing it. Kobe Hamilton wants to know, what do you think of when you think of a new versus used minifigure? I've heard from some that a new minifigure is one that's never been put together. Some think it's built then never played with. Some say it's built, as long as it's not cracked, it's still new. Would love to have your opinion. So that last bit I think is definitely wrong. I think if it's built but it's not cracked, that doesn't make it new. If it's been built and it's a little bit dirty, it's no longer new. But it's a very hard thing to try and define. Obviously if you have a sealed Lego set, a sealed Lego set is a sealed Lego set, right? That's pretty straightforward. Once you take a minifigure out of the bag, the question is a little bit more ambiguous, and I don't think it has a clear answer. I also don't think it necessarily needs one either. If a minifigure is in really good, brand new condition, calling it new or calling it brand new condition is basically the same thing, and there's no way to even know the difference other than the way the seller selling it describes it. As long as it shows up to the buyer in a condition that they find satisfactory as to how it was described, I think that's all that matters here. This guy literally got 2 questions. Oh my god. Transformer fan 89 says, if Lego were to make a droid battle pack, what would you want to see in it? For me, I would like 4 regular battle droids, 2 super battle droids, and the main build being a Vulture droid. I calculated the piece count for my idea at 1,136 pieces. So I'm on board with your slate of figures. I think 4 battle droids, 2 super battle droids, or any combination thereof works fine. I don't really think it matters. It's a battle droid battle pack, right? It's gonna have some number of each, and that's good. But where I do disagree is the Vulture droid. What I would like to see is a crab droid, or I think more pertinent for a droid battle pack more holistically is much like they did in 2007. You have some type of droid carrier that can transport your troops, and then you have some type of droid speeder like the Stap that just is something for it to fight with a clone speeder. I think that's an ideal droid battle pack. A Vulture droid is also a ship for the droids. It's not necessarily a little battle pack build to me. I guess the equivalent would be having an ATRT and a clone battle pack. I think that's a fair comparison, and technically that's happened with the Fighters battle pack, but that would make the droid battle pack have to be a $30 set, which isn't ideal for a battle pack, right? You want them to be cheaper, and at that I don't think a Vulture droid fits in a $20 battle pack build type of set. But yeah, I did see this really good concept the other day for an Utapau droid battle pack, where it has the battle droids, the super battle droids, but then you have the crab droid and the Utapau tri-droid, which looked amazing for a droid battle pack. So that's something that I would love to see down the line. Obviously, it doesn't fix the issues with the ATT. That's already a broken set. It exists the way it exists. It's unfortunate, but it would be a good way to finally get a crab droid in a Lego set some way, somehow. It's Brick Knight says, when you eventually move in your house and you have more space, will you take up mock building? I am Very excited about this prospect. I definitely will have a room for this and table space in that room just to build mocks of whatever. Let me know down in the comments below what you want to see me build first. I'm really into the idea of building an Utapau mock, although for some of the ones that I've seen online, it would be very hard to build up to the standard that like Coconut Brick Studios has done with his Utapau mock, but seeing his inspired me. It makes me want to build something as cool as that. So that's one that I really want to do. Obviously Hoth is something that I've failed at a few times. So I definitely will try to do some large battle scene Star Wars things and do like video series around that. I've had some ideas for how I want to do my video series specifically that would be a bit different than the way most other people do it, where I would like film most of it, if not all of it. Basically like how Netflix releases a documentary series or whatever. Like you film all the content and edit it all before the release date, and then the release date comes and you drop, or for me, I'd do them weekly, right? So I'd have 8 videos done, and then I would start releasing the 8 videos so that there's no like delay for a video. There's no, oh, these parts didn't come in time. I think I would avoid a lot of issues and headaches like that by doing it this way, and I wouldn't be under like a huge time crunch for myself. So I could build the mock over the course of 4 months or whatever, and then condense that 4 months into the best 8 pieces of content for that mock. So that's the way that I want to do it, and hopefully that is how I will be able to execute in the future, but we have to wait till we get there. Otk Dennis says, do you think LEGO will make any expansions to Boba Fett's throne room? This is the last time I'll probably talk about this. I think we talked about it a few months back when the set first came out, and a lot of people were thinking, oh, they might expand it, and that's why it looks bad, that's why the roof is flat, and I was like, no, it's not gonna happen. This is an aesthetic choice so that it doesn't look like a mosque, because that was a whole drama 10 years ago, and I think it's pretty clear, given that there are no 2023 rumors, given that no expansion came out in the summer wave, that Boba Fett's throne room will not be receiving any expansions whatsoever in any way, shape, or form. I don't look at that as a bad thing. I don't think it needed it. I don't think that it would have benefited necessarily from it. I think they could make other sets that have other rooms from Boba Fett's throne room, specifically the Bacta tank room, so we get a figure like Black Chrysanthemum, but, you know, I don't think it needs to just connect up to the top of the thing or anything, which is, I think, what most people, or like the people that thought would happen, is that they would make something that connects to the top because it had these like Technic pieces. But yeah, that just doesn't look like it's going to be happening. Next question from Flue Badger says, do you ever think that custom minifigs have too much printing and it looks crowded? This is a very convenient question because I was just talking with someone about this the other day, and it's something that I'm working on for MandRshop.com. Essentially, yeah, like you can definitely have that point of view, and I kind of do and kind of don't. Like there are some figures that I own from like Konami Customs that have really beautifully detailed printing, way better than LEGO themselves will ever do. 360-degree prints. They have like prints inside the legs now. Like it's pretty absurdly detailed. But for some people, this is certainly a turnoff where you can look at it and be like, well, yeah, but this doesn't quite match my LEGO figures. And so for my site, MandRshop.com, a lot of my customs, and certainly the custom clones that I'm going to be working on are going to follow this line of thinking, that I want to do something that's going to be matching or close to LEGO style. So you can get a custom clone that's going to kind of fit what your already existing collection looks like. And for the flaw of the 2020 clone style being the conglomerate, the ease of it on my side of things as I'm looking towards like developing a custom clone for that is like I can just use the same design template and like it matches everything for what LEGO is doing as far as customs go. So if they don't make like a Hauser, like I would have a custom Hauser here soon on MandRshop.com, and it would be very similar to the LEGO style, so that you could have something that is similar if you want that versus a much more detailed version that a Clone Army Customs offers, which I think will set what I'm doing apart and be something unique. I think some people do look at it as too much printing and overcrowded and too detailed, and I certainly understand that, and that's something that I'm hopefully going to fill a gap in the market for. Let's take a moment to talk about today's sponsor, NordVPN. Despite the endless streaming services available these days, it still feels like everything I want to watch isn't available. Thankfully, NordVPN allows me to change my computer's location to another country, unlocking a wide range of extra content, including Borat on Disney+. Yes, you heard me correct. I literally couldn't find this on Disney Plus when everyone was saying it was on Disney Plus, and I wondered why it wasn't available in America, even though in the movies he goes to America. NordVPN is a super easy to use VPN that can connect to over 5,500 servers in 59 different countries for whenever you need better speed or want access to more streaming content. To sign up, go to nordvpn.com/MandRP and download the app, which is available on Mac, Windows, iOS, and Android. You'll be able to get even more out of your subscriptions and avoid being region blocked ever again. NordVPN isn't just good for streaming though, it also helps encrypt and protect your data while browsing, keeping you safe and secure no matter where you are. Head on over to nordvpn.com/MNRP to get a 2-year plan plus an additional discounted 4 months. Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee lets you try it out for yourself completely risk-free. I'd recommend watching Borat, it's very good. Jim Jam says, LEGO recently remade the Sanctum Santorum and made it an 18+ set. Do you think they will do this with LEGO Star Wars sets? So my equation for this is essentially LEGO took a $100 playset version of a set for LEGO Marvel and then turned it into what is a Master Builder series set or UCS style set. And they do this with LEGO Star Wars all the time. The Sanctum is just unique in that it's a very big building, and LEGO Star Wars doesn't really have a lot of that as far as its sets go. Like Boba's throne room, I guess, would be the closest thing this year to like the original Sanctum was like $100 or whatever, right? And this Boba's throne room is $100. Now if they made a $300 Boba's throne room, then you have something that is akin to what we just saw happen with the Sanctum Sanctorum, which is amazing, by the way. I can't wait to make a review comparison video on those. But honestly, it's something they do all the time with LEGO Star Wars. They do playset Luke's Landspeeder, and then they take it and make a UCS Luke's Landspeeder. But if you're asking for something as far as minifig goes, like, I think the Boba Santorum is a good example, although I don't think it's going to happen. But what I do think is going to happen next year, hopefully, is they'll take, like, the 2009 Endor bunker, right? And they'll make a much bigger version that's, like, $300, and it will have more figures, and it'll have some trees, maybe. It'll just be a bigger version of the same set, and if that's what you're getting at, they do it all the time, and it's something I do expect to continue in the future with a set like the Endor bunker, because that's something, it's probably one of the most overdue sets for LEGO Star Wars right now. It's kind of crazy they haven't made that since 2009. Unlisted Clone Trooper says, I have a $100 budget and I'm getting into retired sets, so which one should I get? So I'm going to base this off new and sealed box sets. Obviously, if you want something used, go wild, but it's going to be a different point of view than what I'm going to give you here. Now I'm going to give you 5 really good suggestions for retired sets that you can pick up for under $100 on sets like eBay to bolster your collection here, because I think there are some really good sets that you can get for under $100. It doesn't always have to be these crazy expensive retired sets that you get. The first of which being the 2012 Geonosis Starfighter. It includes that Phase 1 Commander Cody that you might not already have, and obviously would go nicely with your Phase 2 Commander Cody. It's got a great Geonosis figure, and of course the legendary Ki-Adi-Mundi, and not to mention, I love the box on this thing, and the Geonosis Starfighter is the best Geonosis Starfighter. It's fantastic. If you want either the 2013 or 2009 Corporate Alliance Tank Droid, you should be able to get those for under $100 sealed as well, and those are both fantastic sets. Of course, the 2013 version being from that legendary Summer Wave, and including Jango Fett, and the 2009 version is one of my personal favorite sets. I just have a lot of nostalgia for it. Love the box art, and love those, at the time, brand new Jetpack Clone Troopers. It comes with a little thing so you can fling them, and it's just fun Corporate Alliance Tank Droid sets there. Those are another couple good ones you could pick up. Of course, given the recent ATT, I think another good pickup right now is the General Grievous wheel bike. Could make a nice display next to it from the Utapau scene. It includes the Obi-Wan Kenobi and General Grievous, and this one should only run you like $70 to $80 new according to Brickset, so another decent price for a retired set like that. And my final retired suggestion for you is the 8091 Republic Swamp Speeder. This is a really good Swamp Speeder. It was a very overpriced set at the time, and of course now costs even more money, but it's still under that $100 threshold that you want to be under. It includes some nice figures, and of course a very nice Republic Swamp Speeder build, the best of the 3 that they've done. Len Cow says he was recently watching one of my videos on my storage unit, and he wants to know if I'm scared about water damage because a lot of your stuff is on the ground. Imagine what a disaster would be if a water pipe exploded in the building. I guess it's a risk I have to take. I definitely, being someone that puts everything I do on the internet in a lot of instances, I get a lot of what about this, what about that? And I just ultimately can't account for every situation ever, and this is certainly a situation that maybe I should be accounting for. I honestly probably could raise it all up with more shelves in there to avoid that potential issue. It isn't on the ground floor of the storage unit, but yeah, it is definitely a problem if a water pipe were to burst within the building. I honestly, unfortunately, think that's just a risk I have to take, and I think many other people do take with their storage units. I mean, it's definitely a thing that could happen, but the likelihood has to be astronomically low. However, this fear that you have for me was almost my reality. 4 or 5 years ago, when my sister's Minecraft boyfriend was out in the third car garage, this was before I was obviously using the space as like Lego storage space or Lego building space or whatever that I use it for now. Inside of our main garage is the pump for the sprinkler system, and apparently overnight the pump just broke, exploded, whatever. The entire garage flooded, and it of course ended up flooding the entire third car garage because it's all connected there just through a doorway, so the water just seeped through anyway. And so it completely flooded both rooms. I mean, there's maybe an inch or two of water, whatever was on the ground, right? But it's still flooded with water. And yeah, that could have been me, essentially, is my point there. And definitely avoided a complete disaster there for myself, because I definitely have a ton of stuff on the ground in that room now, and that would be a huge problem for me. Ultimately, though, it would mostly just be empty boxes that would get soiled, and I'd just throw them out and move on with my life. But it is something that's happened in this very house, so I guess it is a fear that I should know is all too real for some people. Everything Elliot says, my parents don't think getting a lot of clones is worth it. They let me buy one 501st battle pack. What is the best way to convince them that my 4 troopers need some reinforcements? I suppose if you really want to try to convince them, you could show them some of the movies or shows or just screenshots from those movies and shows that, like, hey, yeah, you know, these figures or characters, there's more than just one of them here or whatever, would maybe be your best bet. But ultimately, some parents are just going to be stuck in their ways. There might not be a lot you can do in the way of convincing them to let you buy more plastic toys that they might see as more or less worthless to them and you and your future life, right? Like, that's just the way it's going to be sometimes. The closest example I think I have to this, because generally my parents let me buy what I want with, like, my birthday money or whatever. What would happen essentially, though, is half the money I would get from birthday or Christmas would go into bank account, right? And then the other half I could spend as I please. So that was kind of a very, like, good way for me to learn how to save too early on, I think. But the one purchasing stipulation that me and my brother and sister had growing up too was essentially that around Christmas time, you couldn't buy anything, right? It was, oh, wait till you see if Santa brings it for you. And this frustrated me to no end in 2007, or I guess technically Christmas of 2006, because it was the 2007 sets that were coming out. But we were in Walmart before Christmas, and I saw, like, 2007 ATST in the battle packs, and I was like, oh my goodness, Mom, let me buy this $20 Lego set. And they were not having it. They would not let me buy those sets. I was upset. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, but Santa's not going to bring it. These are brand new. They just came out. So you reminded me of that, and the reason I bring it up, obviously, is because it's somewhat akin. Like, sometimes you're just not going to budge what your parents think on something, and when you're living in their house and you're not 18, you're just kind of at their mercy. It's a reasonable rule to have, to just not let you buy things frivolously, I suppose. Ultimately, I don't think there's a lot you can do. Marshmallow says LEGO gets away with a lot of their laziness and non-community benefiting behavior because people keep buying from them. You literally buy every one, you contribute more to it than most, bro. So I agree with you 1000%. It basically goes off the sentiment of, why is LEGO so expensive? Because you keep buying it. Why does LEGO keep abusing the fans or mistreating the fans, however you want to look at it, because we keep supporting them. So I 1000% agree with the sentiment. However, me buying one of sets that they are producing 10,000 of, 20,000 of, 50,000 of, like, yeah, I guess technically in the realest sense it does contribute to it on a small scale, but I'm also the one making the videos talking about the problems that exist. And you can't review a set and be like, yeah, this set sucks, or there's problems with this set, or obviously in the other case, because this happens plenty of times too, this set is great, I really love it, you guys should buy it, whatever, like, without actually buying it and having it in hand and showing it, right? Like, I can make commentary videos, I guess, but, like, I want to have both, and I'm also a collector and I like it, and, like, there's tons of reasons, right? One person not buying a LEGO Star Wars Ed just isn't going to change it, and I also don't think it's worth trying to organize, like, a boycott of ATTEs. Like, that's also just not going to happen. People are going to buy the set. It's basically like we as LEGO Star Wars fans in some cases have been wanting things for so long that no matter how bad it is, no matter how much they mistreat us or just turn blind eyes to things that are obviously issues, we're unfortunately still going to buy it because we want it so badly, and it is a really tough situation to be in. Like the obvious answer is just don't buy it, don't support it, but it's, you know, for me, obviously I'm doing it, it's my job, like, I'm gonna buy the set and review it, but, like, even for a lot of fans, like, it's like, I really want this thing, I don't care that it's half as good as it really should be, I'm gonna buy it anyway, and that's just where it is. So I don't think there's a lot we can do there, but I 1000% agree with your first sentence. Like, you're right. Captain Rex wants to know if I'm planning on buying 100 of the new 501st battle packs. I am not. I usually don't plan too far ahead as to what I'll buy as far as battle pack goes. Like, if the sets end up at half price and they're $10 each, I might buy 100. You never know. But, you know, giving it some thought, really, I'd max out. I can't imagine buying more than 20 or 25 of these. They are specialist battle packs after all. They're not, you know, regular troopers that I'm going to want to mass up like I have with the original 501st set and some other battle packs. So I would see myself capping out at about 20. like I have with the Snowtrooper Battle Pack. I think I bought like 20 of those. I'm good. Like I haven't bought any more recently. I'm very happy with what I have. Like, and I think this would be more of the same there. Like I'd love to have some of these guys, obviously, but too many of them, I'm good. But you know, sale prices or clearance prices may change that down the line. But planning on like 20 max, and that might even be pushing it for me. Maybe 10. Kelly says, for next week's episode, when will your minifigures be available for purchase? They will be available Thursday, September 1st at midnight Eastern time. So that's MandRshop.com. I'm very excited about these, and thanks for the question, Kelly. Our final question comes from Michael, who says, you can't just casually drop that you have a 3090 and a Core i9. Let's see the rig. Sounds like an absolute unit, and it absolutely is an absolute unit. It is huge in my room. It takes up like this entire corner of like my desk space area. I literally cannot open my closet all of the way because of the way I had to position it over here. Like I just needed my big nightstand on the ground so that I could have somewhere to put the PC. Like it's such a big case for the PC. I really like what I did the colors all in red, so it kind of matches my microphone. I just like the red vibe, so I got it all lit up red most of the time when it's turned on. The rest of my gaming setup is like an old monitor that I've had since like 2015 maybe. I've really been holding on to this BenQ for a long time, might be even older than that. And then I bought a new monitor when I bought this computer that does 165 hertz and 1440p. It's an Asus something or another, I don't know exactly what. But yeah, the PC is kind of insane, and it's something that I'm really fortunate and happy to have after so many years of playing PlayStation. Just upgrading like that was kind of crazy to me. But it's a lovely unit. It's something I'm very fortunate and happy to have in my room to be able to play games on, because it's a dream. So let me know if you guys have a question down in the comments section below for next week's episode. You can check out today's sponsor, NordVPN, with the link in the description below. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.